1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right.
There's my check.
Got to know how to roll it, like only we're rolling. Mashed potato, do the alligator. Put your hand on your heel scale, let your backbone slip. Do the 1, 2, 3, like my little Lucy. Na 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 na, na 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 na. Need somebody to help me say it one time. Na 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 na.
Let's eject that. Oh, wrong button. Hello VC, vinyl community. Little bit of a clue there as to what this Fred is all about. This is the DJ Vinyl Vertigo Soul Fred. Now I have a reasonable collection of soul records, albums, singles, a lot of Motown stuff. Motown heavily connected with what I was into back in the 80s. But the good thing about this Fred is I only have to sift through a couple of boxes to pull out what I want, what I need. So it suited me down to the ground. So yeah, it's like the other Freds you see in the VC. Series of questions, show and tell. I will put a link to the DJ Vinyl Vertigo channel in the description. 20 questions, yeah, let's get cracking. My most listened to soul album. You just heard a bit of it, the intro. Now, considering I've had this since 1985, it's probably going to be my most listened to album. Best of Wilson Pickett. Absolutely love a bit of Wilson Pickett, and I do hope you're seeing these okay. I'll probably get to the end of this and find out I've got to do it all again. Some other great albums along there to collect in this series, and this is a German pressing, by the way. So yeah, my most listened to soul album, the best of Wilson Pickett, and I've been listening to this before I did this video. Okay, most recent soul purchase, another easy one, Cissy Houston. And this came, well, John 6-inch pianist, who most people in the VC will know of. He highlighted a soul record, I Just Don't Know What to Do With Myself, which you heavily associate with Dusty Springfield. He was playing a Cissy Houston version, which I absolutely fell in love with. I had a look for the single on Discogs. Far too expensive for me. The album, this old Record Store Day album, was half the price. It's a no-brainer. So this is a 2019 Record Store Day release. White vinyl. Yeah, my most recent soul purchase. Cracking album all the way through, actually, not just one song, Cissy Houston. Show a male soul artist. I could have showed loads. Let's just pick that up off the floor. Could have showed loads. Otis Redding. Genius. Pure genius. And again, I bloody well hope you're seeing these all okay. Yep, Otis Redding. Show a Stax release. Now I thought I had lots of stuff on Stax, but I didn't. I was getting it confused with Atlantic. I've only got one album on Stax. It's this compilation, licensed by Stax to EMI Records. Stax Gold, the 20 greatest hits. Who we got on here? Oh. Staple singers: William Bell, Judy Clay, Isaac Hayes, Mel and Tim, Booker T and the I love a bit of Booker T and the MGs. Rufus Thomas is on here. The Dramatics, Carla Thomas, Vida Brown, a host of veritable soul artists. Yep, a show, a Stax release. Soul artists not from the USA. I'm pretty threadbare in that department when it comes to albums, but I've got a 7-inch single. Billy Ocean, Love Really Hurts Without You. Billy is from Fyzabad, which is Trinidad and Tobago. And this 7-inch tune, Love Really Hurts by You, Love Really Hurts Without You, was adopted, I should say, I'm all tongues today, by the Northern Soul crowd here in Britain back in the 70s. Great Northern Soul dance tune and a great tune in general. So yeah, a non-USA soul artist, Billy Ocean from Trinidad and Tobago. Love Really Hurts Without You. That's on the GTO label, 1976. Okay, show a female soul artist. Oh, I've got my records mixed up here. Female soul artist, again, I could have showed quite a few, but let's not just pick one, shall we? Let's pick a few. Golden Ladies of Soul. Gladys Knight and the Pips is on here, Martha Reeves, the Chiffons, Gladys Knight and the Pips again, Carla Thomas, the Crystals, Mary Wells, the Shirelles, the Toys, a Rivers Concerto. That's a brilliant tune, that is. Fontella Bass, Rescue Me. Yeah, let's not just show one lady of soul, let's show a few. There's the back. And that's yeah, it's a great compilation. Golden Ladies of Soul. Gospel album by a soul artist. This is the one that a few of you have been talking about, mentioning. I haven't managed to show. I've got it. I remember Telegram Sam in the VC showing this. Aretha Franklin, Amazing Grace. I got this from a record fair a couple of years ago in Leicester, here in England. This was the first purchase of the day and it was only £12. Brand new it was in the shrink. It's a 2014 reissue on the Atlantic label. Yep. Aretha Franklin, Amazing Grace with James Cleveland and the Southern California Community Choir. Cracking album. Cracking album. I'm not sure if this is coloured vinyl actually, but it's a 2-record set, gatefold. I'm not going to go pulling it out the label. That's the one a few of you have been mentioning. Amazing Grace. Aretha Franklin. What a genius she was. Lovely, lovely singer. Blue-eyed soul artist. Now, I had never heard this term before, never. So I had to ask DJ Vinyl Vertigo what it meant. Honestly hadn't got a clue. I'm no expert when it comes to soul music. I know what I like and I like what I know. So the only one I could really think of, and she wasn't sort of just a dedicated soul singer. She did soul, and she was mistaken for a black lady when people heard her voice on the radio and that. People thought oh wow, it's this great black lady singing this soul stuff. Dusty Springfield. Fantastic singer she was. This is the McKay-Tell label. I do have a couple of Dusty Springfield 7-inch singles as well. But yeah, that's the only one I could think of. If I was more knowledgeable when it came to soul, I could probably picked out somebody else. Soul artist more people should be aware of. I did pick out two, but I'll only show the one. One of my favourites, Gino Washington and the Ram Jam Band. This is the Shake a Tail Feather Baby album, 1967, mono pressing on the Piccadilly label. I'm sure he's American, isn't he, Gino Washington? But I think he's more or less based here now in Britain. Does a lot of touring, a lot of clubs and all that, a lot of gigs here in Britain. So I assume he lives here in Britain now. If you know otherwise, please tell me. So yeah, another, well, a soul artist that people should be more aware of. Barely gets a mention in the VC. I'm perhaps one of the only people who does mention him. I don't know. Gino Washington and the Ram Jam Band. Most famous tune, Michael the Lover. And of course, he was a subject to that #1 hit by Dexys Midnight Runners, Gino. All about Gino Washington. Brilliant. Love a bit of Gino Washington. Soul artist who features on a rock album. RM, Retro Musings. She chose Junior Walker, the All Stars. One of the albums she showed I've already got, and I couldn't think of anybody else really, so I was going to go with that. Then I had a brainwave. It's a lady. She's done rock, pop, blues as well, I think, funk, soul as well. Tina Turner, the Acid Queen, and the Who album, Tommy. I'm sure that counts, doesn't it? You probably find I'm going to have to twist a few of these questions just to get them done. But yeah, Tina Turner, the late, great Tina Turner. She was fantastic. Beautiful lady. Yeah. Soul artist who appears in a rock album. That's my take on it anyway. Tina Turner, the Acid Queen, from the rock opera, the hit album, Tommy, by The Who. And this is an Australian pressing, by the way. Okay. A Motown release. I could have showed loads of bloody Motown stuff. I chose this one, my favourite Motown artists. The Four Tops. Absolutely love the Four Tops. Like I say, my favourite Motown artists. Reach Out, I'll Be There, Standing in the Shadows of Love, Bernadette, brilliant tune. Walk Away Renee. Oh, what can you say? Original boy band, and you know, well, 10 times better than the rubbish we get today, I think. Four Tops, absolutely brilliant. My favourite Motown artists, and one of my favourite American bands, full stop. Absolutely love the Four Tops. Great hits type album to get hold of if you can. Double album on the Motown label. Four Tops, brilliant. Soul artist deserving of a box set. Let me just move these out of the way first. Got to be the Godfather himself, hasn't it? They called him the hardest working man in show business. Godfather. James Brown. And I've got a few James Brown albums behind me, but I thought I'd pull this out. It's a 12-inch single. Sex Machine. Get on the Good Foot. Get up off of that thing. Papa's Got a Brand New Bag. And I got this back in 1985. It's on the Polydor label. Soul artist deserving, and if there is a James Brown box set, I do apologise. I wouldn't honestly know, so I'm just assuming. So yeah, I'll go with that one any day. James Brown. Love a bit of James Brown. Okay. Soul act seen live in concert. I've seen one for sure. The other one, not exactly all soul, reggae, dub, ska, Motown. The one I have seen in concert, I've seen him a couple of times back in the day, back in the second half of the 80s. Edwin Starr. This is the album Clean. I picked this up for a dirt cheap price at the car boot sale. Edwin Starr had a bit of a comeback, as it were, in the second half of the 80s, especially here in Britain, and that was down to the scootering scene here in Britain. Scootering scene, not just mods, you're talking scooter boys, girls, scooter skinheads, psychobillies. It encapsulated a whole sort of youth culture. And of course, a lot of the music that came with it, and Edwin Starr was a part of that, being a huge Motown star back in the day. And he would be booked to play clubs, and he went down a storm. He went down with a storm with the ladies and gents that went to these gigs at scooter rallies down the country, and scooter musical events, sort of orientated events anyway, you know. I wouldn't exactly call them discos or anything like that, but he'd be booked to do gigs as well up and down the country anyway, and he enjoyed a bit of a comeback. And I was lucky enough to see him a couple of times. Of course, he's no longer with us. The only song I kind of recognise on here is Contact. But I've got a few Edwin Starr 7-inch singles put away behind me. Time is another one of his, big favourite of mine. So yeah, Edwin Starr, I've seen him live in concert. Well, live gig in a club a couple of occasions. Jazz record by soul artist. I'm going to have to turn this one round a bit. How about the jazz artist? yeah, a jazz artist doing a soul or soul tunes, which were again adopted by the Northern Soul um, ladies and gents back in the day here in Britain. And that's the Ramsey Lewis Trio. Wade in the Water. And of course he did a cover of that great Doobie Gray classic, The In Crowd. So yeah, that's a jazz artist. Was a jazz soul funk. I think he's classed as artist. Brilliant instrumentals. Wade in the Water and The In Crowd. That's on the Old Gold label. The Old Gold label was brilliant back in the day here in Britain because you got a hit single on one side, and more often than not you had another hit single on the B side as well. Not just a regular B side, but a great hit single too. They were a great way of getting back into record collecting back in the day. There it is, my chest label, Wade in the Water. So yeah, Ramsey Lewis Trio. Soul artist in the group who also did solo recordings. I could only think of this one really. Diana Ross and Supremes. And this one's quite a common album here in Britain to get hold of. I do see it at the flea markets, the car boot sales every so often. This one belonged to my late partner actually, it belonged to her. But yeah, that was the only one I could think of. Diana Ross and the Supremes, 20 Golden Greats. And I've got, like I say, I've got a few of their albums behind me. And again, I do bloody well hope you're seeing these all okay. Diana Ross and the Supremes. Favourite soul song? Well, I've picked a few songs. You've already heard one earlier. Wilson Pickett, Land of a Thousand Dances. Perhaps my favourite soul bass tune of all time. Absolutely love it. Okay, I've got some others here. The Night, Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. What a fantastic tune. I never knew this at the time when I first heard it, but it was on the Motown label. And also some of my other favourites are Northern Soul floor fillers, dance tunes. Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons did a couple of others. You're Ready Now, another great Northern Soul dance tune. Begging you, put your loving arms out, baby. So yeah, there's just a small selection of favourite soul tunes. Land of a Thousand Dances, The Night, Begging, You Ready Now, Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. There's loads of others. Look, I'll have to show all my Northern Soul singles one day. Reggae soul artist release. I had to Google this one, I wasn't quite sure. I suppose reggae soul are connected somewhere down the line. I don't know, I'm no expert, so I don't really know. But to me, reggae, ska, rocksteady, it's a totally separate thing. But I googled it, and one of the answers that came up was Toots and the Maytals. To me, that's ska, not soul, but all you more knowledgeable people out there probably put me right, but I thought the nearest I could perhaps get to that soul sound with like a sort of a reggae ska bass artist, perhaps. Ken Booth, Everything I Own. And that's his biggest hit, his well-known tune, Everything I Own, which was covered later on by Boy George, ex-Culture Club. It's not the best of condition albums, this. If I find an upgrade, I'll get it. So yeah, the nearest I could get to that sort of soul sound from a reggae sort of based artist. Ken Booth, Everything I Own. Is this one on Trojan? Yeah, it is. Trojan Records, the greatest reggae label of all time, Trojan, without a shadow of a doubt. So yeah, that's the nearest I could get to that sort of reggae soul sound, Ken Booth. A live in concert soul recording. I don't know much about this. All you American folk, I presume, will know a bit. The original soundtrack from TCB. Diana Ross and Supremes for the Temptations. I believe this was some sort of television special. I presume it would have been just over the pond in America. Cracking album. Just saying, oh, TCB, Taking Care of Business. Of course, on the Motown label. Any of you people over there in the States, all you good people, a hell of a lot more knowledgeable than me when it comes to soul, Motown, etc. If you know any more about this, was it a whole series of live music TV programs? I don't know, honestly don't know. If you know, please put it in the comments, let me know. I'm always keen and eager to learn about these things. So that's from 1968. Diana Ross and Supremes with the Temptations. And some great, just noticed some great albums to buy here in the back. Soul, Motown, Temptations live at the Copa. Well worth looking into. Hope that was okay. Soul compilation release. I could have picked loads. I've got a few soul compilation albums. I'll pick this one on the K-Tel label. Various soul tunes on it. I've had this one since, oh blimey, 85, 86. Hits Revival. Jackie Wilson's on here, Wonderful World, Sam Cooke, Bill Withers, Ken Booth, who we've not long mentioned. The Four Tops, again we've already mentioned the Supremes, James Brown, Marvin Gaye's on here, Martha Reeves and the Vandellas. Oh, the Del Vikings, Al Green, have we already mentioned him? No, Let's Stay Together, brilliant, brilliant, soulful tune. Bob and Earl, Harlem Shuffle, James Brown, and again Jackie Wilson. Wonderful, wonderful soul compilation album. Quite common songs, tunes, I suppose. But a great album to have, get hold of. Favourite VC Soul channels. Go take a look at DJ Vinyl Vertigo's channel. I will put a link in there. Nadine over in Germany, her channel. She's a soul sort of expert. She knows her onions, as we say over here in Britain. She really does. And anything she probably doesn't know, isn't worth knowing anyway. Other than that, Britain's finest, John, 6-inch pianist, he knows quite a bit about soul, and he goes on the live streams with Nadine and Miss Lady Soul, I believe, is over in Canada. So I'll put links to the various channels. I know I keep saying I will do, and I keep bloody well forgetting, but I will make a concerted effort to do so. I've just noticed a couple of other records I did pick out, but I haven't shown because I picked out others. This one's on Stax, actually. Bucatini MGs, Time Is Tight. Another favourite tune of mine. And on the other side, you've got Eddie Floyd, and there's also William Bell and Judy Clay. So I have to check that one out. So yeah, on the Stax label, 7-inch single, Time Is Tight, Bucatini MGs. Another favourite tune of mine. And a British actor, kind of soul, funk, bit of funk, pop. Nobody really talks about in the BC. I think I may have mentioned them once or twice, and I may have seen somebody else mention them once. The Christians, great soul, pop, funk type band. This one's fairly easy to find, actually, and you should pick it up for a reasonable price. Should be £5 or under, depending on the condition, of course. Brilliant tunes on here: Forgotten Town, When the Fingers Point, Ideal World, Save a Soul in Every Town, Hooverville, Sad Songs. That's on Island Records. So yeah, why not check it out? The Christians. So that's my response to the soul vinyl tag. Hope you enjoyed it. My interpretation. Like I say, I'm not the most knowledgeable person when it comes to soul, but I do love the music. Bless you for taking time out during your day and tuning in. Cheerio. Bye for now. I've got to put all these bloody things away now. Bye bye.